to hit me with a "Don't be mad, UPS." She gave me the grace and she gave me the freedom to set up a green screen camera in our garage and start making content and putting it up. Thank you, wherever you are. I know you're here somewhere. Thank you for that. For those that are around me, you know, I take what I do very seriously. I see that what I do, I take it as an honor. I take it as a privilege to be in the position that I'm in. I've said it before and I say it again, that doesn't make me special, but I work hard. I do not possess a skill or a talent that a million other people in this world don't possess in some way or another, but I'm passionate. I am, in many terms, or in the way that I see it, I am blessed. And if you don't believe in that, then I'm lucky. And with that luck or blessing comes, and I'll be totally transparent with you guys, a certain amount of guilt, feeling that I don't belong here. Why me? What makes me special? What have I done to put me in that position? And while I do not have the answer to those questions, what God has put in my spirit is to be what Scoop and many others have been to me, to be a giant, to be a shoulder on which those that come after me so they can see into a future that I never thought was even possible. I know that the scope of my journey is still being written. The great scribe up above has ideas and circumstances that will change me from the inside out, and I can't wait to see what's in store for me on the other side. So while a part of me stands here right now in front of you screaming that this is not something that I deserve, I know that there's a meaning behind it all that has yet to be written, and one day it'll all make sense for those that come after me. So I say thank you, I am grateful, I am humbled, and I appreciate the flowers. Thank you, guys.
You're not gonna take my name off that and give it to him, are you? Like, it's not gonna be the Jacques Slade Award. This is not my last time here. Okay. Thank you, man.
Beautiful. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Ooh, both of them are writers, so they, want to write some stuff, right? Yes, yes. So the next person I'd like to bring out is Portia Blunt to introduce a very special woman.
Thank you. All right, y'all, I need my glasses for this one. I had to pull out the glasses. I got tissue in my pocket. So just so you all know, I've been waiting in the back with this phenomenal woman. And we were just chatting and catching up, and she shared a story with me, and she started crying. I was like, hold those tears. What you do? You haven't even got the award yet. Hold on. So I'm going to share a couple of things with you. First and foremost, I am beyond humbled to present this award to such a phenomenal human and a phenomenal woman, and who has meant so much to us in this industry, in particular to Black women in this industry. So some of you may know her as a creator. Some of you may know her as an innovator. Some of you may even know her as a fierce, badass influencer. Some of you even may even know her as Seven and Zion's mom. Yeah, right. But I know her as my friend, right? So I'm gonna have Jazz come on out here really quickly. So what's important about this award, even being established, is that I don't even know that Jazz realizes the impact that she holds and exudes for all of us. So I'm gonna let her take some time as she listens and accepts the flowers today. And I want her to smell the flowers today. I want her to hold and wear the flowers today. I know this woman to be exactly what you see is who you get. She will fight fearlessly in any battlefield to make sure our stories are heard, that we have a space. She's a master connector. She connects the dots so that you don't even know that are there. And I have to tell you, the vulnerability, so someone so strong to be so humble and vulnerable at her core. I've had phone calls from this one. Whatever you need, babe, I got you. Whatever you need to just let off your chest, I'm here for you. And what's a beautiful thing about her, she's there to pick up the phone when I call too. And what's even more important, when you call her, she's gonna pick up the phone. So when you give someone an award for being an advocate for women in sneakers, you need someone who's gonna always be there, who's going to give voice to those of us who aren't necessarily going to speak up for ourselves. So today, Jazrae, first of her name, House of Allen Lord. Yeah. We present to you the Advocate Icon Award.
It's the Jazrae Allen Lord Advocate Icon Award. Give me a minute because I wrote something like Jock. I'm not going to wing it today. I think I definitely understand the gravity of this moment, and I stand here representing thousands of women who came before me, who also, like me, were forged in the fire, but they never made it through the flames to see today. And I am them. We are them. And we are fucking here, period. They called us crazy. They called us dangerous. They called us risky. But when white men do it, they call it innovative. They call it disruptive. They call it iconic. And tonight I stand before you as your icon. My father never taught me the word advocacy because in our community, I think more is caught than taught. So he taught me through his actions. He marched with us alongside him for veterans' rights and prison reform. My mother taught me through the power of faith. She gave me God and the space for him to find me and work through me. And my children, Zion and Seven, as Portia mentioned, my greatest teachers who always believed that their mama was magic and could make wishes come true by throwing pennies in fountains before anyone in here or in the world ever knew my name. I started all of this for them, but as a lot of my babies know here, especially in the front row, I do it every day for y'all. And to the young women here who I have mentored, led, worked with, worked for, learned from, y'all are truly my icons. I kept going only for you. I spoke up only for you. I advocated only for fucking you. And I'm gonna keep going for you. I hope one day when people ask me, they say, like, when will you know that you're done? When I can sit down and everybody in the room looks like me and there's no reason for my work. I think I have to constantly remember that I was forged in the fire. And after being forged in the fire, you become the flame. Today, I am the flame. Today, we are the wildfire that will burn these systems down and light this bitch on flame. So, can I say that, Dr. Dwayne? We are the ones we've been waiting for. We said that in Obama's time, but I think we really mean it today. Dr. Dwayne has told us that they've left the door cracked, and if we don't kick it open, it's on us. So I really, really employ all of you to stand up, to speak out, to live loud, to never, ever forget who you are, to stand in your truth, regardless of who it makes uncomfortable. Not everybody's gonna like you, but all you need is one believer. And I'm so, so thankful to my believers today that are here. Shake, my day one, Janae, Jacques, my fucking day one, for real. Like, thank you. And thank you, Dr. Dwayne, for everything that you do. If there was no Dr. Dwayne, there would be no us in this room. And I think that his walk should inspire all of us every single day to be more and to do more. Thank you.
Ooh, thank you. That was great. That was beautiful. That was beautiful. You know, I forgot to mention why we call it the Black Light Awards. And we call it the Black Light Awards is because when we were going through the process of reopening Pensole Lewis College, we wanted to come up with a nickname for the college. We didn't want to be an animal. We didn't want to be a tiger or a lion or anything like that. And what we settled on was a black light. How many of you have ever seen a black light, something written in black light form? Well, when you see it, it actually doesn't exist until you shine a light on it, and then it illuminates. All of these people are that light. And every student that comes through these doors is also a light. Because in a lot of times we are hidden in plain sight, and we just need someone to shine a light on our greatness. And so that's why it's called the Pensole Lewis College Black Lights. So the next gentleman I want to bring up is Mr. Chris Wright to introduce another dynamic brother. Man, y'all getting emotional up here, boy. Okay. All right, don't do it, Chris. Don't do it. Don't do it.
Don't do what? Oh, you know what? I forgot to tell you I'm from New York. I'm humbled to be here. It's beautiful seeing all of you here. So thanks for coming out. Thanks to Dr. Edwards for putting this on. I'm really humbled to present this award to the person that is going to get this namesake award. I've had the opportunity to watch his growth over the last almost 20 years. And like, when I just think about everything that he's done, it's been nothing short of amazing. When they say actions speak louder than words, this person is the personification of that term. When I think about the communities he serves, through product, through storytelling, through service and experience, I haven't seen anybody do it on this level in a long time. He's truly an icon and a pioneer in the retail space. With that, I'm going to bring out James Whitner to receive the James Whitner Entrepreneur Icon Award.
Yo, thank you, everybody. It's humbling, and I honestly wrote what I was going to say, and then I ripped it up, and I left my phone back there just so I could talk to the room. Entrepreneurship for me is probably a big term. I think I speak a lot and try to. And for me, entrepreneurship is about passion and about belief in yourself. And it's about acting. Where I'm from, you can't talk about much. You just talking, it's just words. In FC Alvaredo, and started my bid. And most of y'all be like, damn, that's tough. But I never I was never worried about my future. I was supposed to be going back to finish my senior year of college, but I was going to go start a 4-year sentence. And I never thought yo, it had such a bright future and he threw it all away. And I was thinking to myself no, this is the kind of start of my future. And I didn't think about this until I tore up the speech that I wrote, because I think the thing that we have to remember is we make our own table. I asked a question earlier today when I hear, and I respect the entrepreneur and the employment journey, but I knew early on where I was from that I could never work for someone because I understood the box that it kind of put my thinking in. And I tried, and I tried, and I tried, and I tried, right? And I respect leaders and people in the institution that employment creates for us, but I knew that I was an underdog. I was a felon, right? So in the world terms, I failed. It was over for me. The world would never accept me. At 21 years old, my life meant nothing. Nah, I wasn't gonna let that be my story. So I say that to say, this is our table. This is our story. This is our opportunity. All of this is ours. Nobody can take anything from us. We get to create our seats at the table, build the table. It's our table. And I appreciate Dwayne. It's a very high honor to put my name on the award. And I will continue to earn and build legacy and put meaning behind it. Chris, thank you for always believing in me. And all of you, I couldn't be anything without you, so I appreciate y'all. Thank you.
Okay, 2 more left. So earlier today, I explained to you how the students are going to create this college. The students have the opportunity to design all of our spaces. This morning, I introduced the Kevin Carroll Student Lounge space, and we have 2 more spaces we would like to dedicate today to 2 more amazing people. The first one would be to Miss April Walker. Legend upon legend upon legend. We go back several decades, always on the footwear space, killing it in the apparel space and just the entrepreneur space. You are a motivation to women. You're a motivation to men. You're a motivation to designers. And I'm honored to present to you your own studio at Pensole Lewis called the April Walker Apparel Design Studio.
Thank you, Dr. Dwayne, and thank you, Pensole Lewis College, and thank you, makers, creators, and educators. What can I say? I started this journey in 1987, and I wouldn't think I would be standing here right now accepting this award. I just believed in something bigger than myself, and that's how the journey started. And to see all of you beautiful people and young people, and particularly Black and brown people in this audience, is just the dream realized for me. When I see you, I see myself. And so, I do the work now
for you, because I want you to see the possibilities that if I did it without technology, as a Blexican woman in an all-male dominated industry, and I kicked in the door, that you guys can do it even bigger and better. And I know that you will with a school like this, because this school is made with love, it's made with intention, it's made with greatness, it's made with everything you need. And when you come out of here, you're gonna see the world differently and be able to apply the world differently and be able to change the world differently. So I'm grateful to see what's gonna manifest from this school and from all of you creators. I will continue to do the work for the culture. I will continue to show up for Black and brown women. And if you're a maker and a creator, and all the creators, raise your hand. Okay, do me a big favor. Can you all take out your phones real quick and put on your flashlight and just raise it? You see how we can all shine bright together? Shine your light on somebody else, because you already have the light. So let that create contagious behavior, and that's how we help create a healthy ecosystem. I just want to say thank you. I'm going to leave you with a few things. Serve, and the people will find you. I'm honored to be with such greatness and receive the award with so many people that are doing service and being a service to our communities, our culture. Just in closing, that's God's work and that's God's light. Lateral cooperation creates vertical movement. This is a testimony to that. And as Killer Mike says, if all of us do a little bit, no one has to do a lot. Thank you, I'm so humbled.
Ooh, that was beautiful. That was beautiful. All right, so the last award that I want to present is to a gentleman that I didn't know existed. In 1989, I became a footwear designer in this industry. I thought I was the only one. For the young people, there was no internet in 89. There was no social media in 89. Just had the yellow pages. Look up what the yellow pages is, you'll see what it is. But I didn't discover this brother until in the 90s. And then I had an opportunity to sit right beside him for a few years when we were in Jordan together. And then discover this brother was the first Black footwear designer in this industry. And that is something that I admire this man for, because he's humble. He just did the work. I guarantee you, you have some of his shoes in your closet, and you didn't even know he did it. And I feel like it's an honor, and it's only deserving that we dedicate the footwear space to Mr. Wilson Smith. Now, Wilson actually started in the early 1900s, not Jeff. Wilson did, actually. Right.
It's hilarious. Well, Brother Dr. Dwayne Edwards. Dr. Dwayne. First, I want, the the word says, let another man praise you, not your own lips. And so I'm gonna praise you. Dude, I think what you've done is unbelievable. I mean, everything that your vision and what you're all about has just been so inspiring. And I'm in the shadow. He talked about me being the first, black designer, and Dwayne was the second. It's like Elisha kind of exceeded Elijah, considerably. And so I'd say number two, you are highly, highly respected, and I love the work that you have done. And I was so blown away. I'm proud. I am proud of you. I am proud of. I'm proud of each of you in this room. I'm proud that each of you are bold enough to come here. I'm proud of each of you and your futures that are going to exceed all the rest of us. That's what I'm proud of. I'm proud of each of you. I'm proud of some of the creatives that I've worked with that I was very inspired, been so inspired by today, and I'm proud that they have helped to put this place together, bring people along with us. One thing I've been thinking about, and I'm so reminded of now in this part of my career or whatever, is that we as black and brown people, we may be doing our own thing, but it's about others. It's as horizontal as it is vertical. It's going all directions all the time, and we got to lift another one up as well as whatever we're doing, whatever we're involved in. And each person that I know, that the creatives that I've been with over the years, a lot of them are part of this, and they're the ones who have been intentional about reaching out to the sides. I'm thinking about people like Sharice Thornhill Goldstone and Ashley Como and Precious Hannah and Elia Jackson, who I heard earlier today, who I loved hearing all their stories and hearing how they are making a way for others as well as their own selves. And then, of course, brothers, these are just the creatives. The rooms, it's been filled with amazing people all day, but I'm just thinking about some of the creatives that I worked with. Thinking about Jeff Henderson, about Jason Maiden, E. Scott Morris, Kevin Carroll, Scoop Jackson, Sean Williams, everybody who have been doing amazing work that's going this way as well as whatever the work they're doing. So everything that you do, be intentional about it, and I'm just proud of you. So that's my first feeling, because being the first black, I did not expect to see a room full, and this room is full, and it's going to be even fuller. I mean, everything keeps getting bigger and bigger, and it's exciting. It is so exciting, and so that's amazing. And then I'd say, for myself, just my current journey, I'm all about the next generation. That's my passion, is to really now, I'm still inside of the company, but my heart is all about the next gen, about making a way, about creative ways of connecting. So I'm, wilson.smith@nike.com. Let's have a relationship. I want to try to make a way, as you're moving in your careers and things. And I was so honored recently, and this is another brother who's thinking about himself outside of he's thinking about others outside of himself. This brother, a brother named Wade Ray at Nike, who was a marketing guy at Nike, he wanted to create a shoe that told my story, which is like crazy. And I'm like going, what? And it's amazing. And it's online right now. And I was thinking about him because actually he asked me for a quote to put in the shoe. And the quote I gave was a quote that was actually in Philippians. It says, "In humility, count others more significant than yourselves." And I just think that's one of those things. And I just see that. I get that vibe here from everyone. I get that vibe that we're all like, it's about, the best way for it to be about you is for it not to be about you, really. And the best way to really make an opportunity is to really try to make an opportunity for someone else. And so that's what I see is beautiful about this place, about each one of you, and I'm so honored to be a part of that journey as well. If my life was what I dreamed it would be, it wouldn't be as interesting as it is. And that's just a quote from Big Pun, but Big Sean. But it's just the whole idea is that it's much bigger than anything we could think of at this point. I mean, right now you may be looking up a mountain, but trust me, it's going to be even bigger than that. And I really believe that we can get that way with the right spirit and the right focus. And so that's some of the main stuff I was thinking about. The other thing I was just saying is, and Dwayne and others have mentioned it, it's more about, to me, the notion of humility is a huge thing. And that's something that I try to keep in check, because I'm extremely fortunate. I tell you, when I kind of backed into the footwear industry, there weren't really shoes being designed, and they were getting ready. I thought they were going to lay me off, and they said, "How would you like to design shoes?" I was like, "Oh, I always want to do that. I just want to keep a job. I'm going to pay the rent." I always wanted to pay the rent. And now I'm like going, "Wow, that ends up being." I thought I had failed as an architect, and that ends up being the step into the new place. So I would say for each of you, to be thinking, making yourselves the kind of person who can do things that they say, like, they call it proclivities, the kind of skill sets, the things that you can apply to any area. It doesn't have to just be shoes, it could be anything. Like I think Sharice one time earlier said about, don't just design shoes. And that's true. Look outside the box that you can apply it to all kinds of things. So I think that's real important. I think it's, be yourself, find yourself, be yourself. Number 2, be adaptable. Be adaptable with those amazing skills you got. And number 3, I would say, is just to be grateful. I mean, just be grateful. I'm grateful. I'm so fucking grateful right now. I'm so fucking grateful right now. I mean, just gotta be grateful. I'm so fucking grateful. I'm grateful for the Pensole College of Design, Pensole Lewis College of Design. I'm grateful for the Pensole Lewis College of Design. I'm grateful. Just be grateful, because the doors are opening, and they're opening for you, and just march on through them and knock them out of the park. It's your day right now. Love you, buddy.
Take a picture with me. Ooh, that was great. All right, we're going to take a 5-minute break, and then we're going to close the day out, okay? So stand up, stretch a little bit. Up next, you got a treat. We're going to end on a high note. Get your energy up. Get your energy up. 5 minutes.
Attention, everybody that can hear my voice. We have another lost phone. It is an iPhone. It has an extra battery pack on it. And the screensaver has 2 beautiful young children on it. Please meet me by the front desk where we registered to retrieve your phone. Thank you.
I can't hear you. God, what? Oh. I'm always got a call and response. Always. That's my whole life. All right. Anybody want to share a gem or two that you heard? Yeah? One? Just share one. Very good. Like that one. All right. Our last session for the day. We got some heat on this stage. It's going to get warm in here quick. All right. I want to bring up Mr. James Whitner. Clap. Wow. I want to bring up Miss April Walker. All right. Mr. Jalen Rose. Oh, he's coming. But you can introduce the session, explain to them what is going on and what they're about to experience.
So I was divided by Dwayne to do something that we do often every month. We call it free game. In my experiences over the years, there's no handbook for what we do. You kind of just go out there and you figure it out. And the thing that I've learned was, after being on this journey for so long and just talking to April in the back, like, you want to give the information back. So free game is a platform that we do now monthly, sometimes more frequent. And the goal of it is just to give the information back. Today we're going to be talking about y'all. We're going to be talking about the future. And most importantly, we're just going to be talking about what it takes to move us forward. And the sessions is interactive. So please jump in. This is a conversation for us. This is not us talking at y'all. The clock said we got 49 minutes, and if we don't use all of them having an engaging conversation, I fail. I don't like failing, so let's get at it. April, you in the center. Okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna kick it off because we was in the back, and April said something to me that was important, and we just busted it up. I just met Jalen for the first time today, and April same, but we started talking about the idea of being played. And it's something that we don't talk about openly. I've been played a million times. It's failure, right? Like you walk in a room and you try to get a seat at the table and somebody curb you or make you feel like you don't deserve to be in a room or make you feel like you ain't in a cool guy committee or take advantage of you when you don't understand the rules of operation. I want to start there because as black folks in a white industry, white world, we're often the only people in the room. Right? And we struggle being our authentic selves and making sure that our values being felt in the room. April, I'm gonna let you jump in from there.
I'm gonna start by saying I'm gonna go into that conversation we had backstage, if you don't mind me repeating. Jalen was like, when I walked in, he said, I'm gonna repeat what I said when you got on the stage, and that is that I got played in the industry. And it's all perception. I understood what Jalen was saying truly. And I'm grateful that I feel like I never became bitter, but became better. And I was telling them that I didn't come in this for the fashion industry. I was following my North Star, which was hip hop, the culture. So once I saw what the fashion industry was, I'm being real frank with you guys right now, it's full of whiteness. And it's a very elitist industry. It's a broken system on purpose. So I never expected them to quantify my potential or validate my dopeness. It was up to me to do that, right? Where I was telling them, I felt like the Lone Ranger in is I was the first woman, Blexican woman, the first woman, and then Blexican on top of that. I came in at 21, I started. I did not feel supported by black men in the industry that were my counterparts at that time. They did not, I feel like, did not hold space. You guys, we talk a lot about code switching and about having to be fragile with our words when we walk in certain rooms. I had to do that every day, whether it was black or white, because I was the only woman in that room with a lot of egos, a lot of men. And just imagine, hip-hop was exploding. It was a different time, so picture that, like way different. You know, the early 90s, we were young, we were just getting it. No one understood what this was gonna be at that point, but it was more about being seen and being seen, right? And I think that that system kind of set us up to be every man for himself, instead of understanding that until we all win, none of us are winning.
Now pause for 1 second. Tell them what you said, what we need to do.
I need you to stand up for me. I need you to be here for me. I need you to make sure that doesn't happen again, because I represent so many women that have come before me and had this same situation. And while things are changing, they're not changing fast enough for women, especially black and brown women. If we're honest, those opportunities still aren't the same in the fashion industry. And that's why I'm a big, big proponent of IP holders.
April, thank you.
You're welcome.
I'm gonna pivot something to Jalen, because we start talking, and you would think, you know, with his legacy and what he's built, he would jump in a conversation and it would be about something different. Jalen, jump in and please start talking what you started talking about in the back.
First, I'm really honored to be here. I'm honored that this is happening. I grew up on the northwest side of Detroit, and I believe it was off Myers. Literally, Lewis College of Business was right around the corner from where I used to live and grew up. It was right down the street from Northwest Activity Center. So I used to play there, I used to be there, I used to see it. And the sad thing, I didn't realize that it was a HBCU. And I didn't realize that it was one of the first ones about business in Detroit. That just shows you how the awareness didn't exist. I didn't know you guys were coming back. And so a couple of things I want to acknowledge. First off, you're a legend. Please give it up for her. And the thing is, I've always, and when I talked about like how the industry took her for granted and basically played her, I wasn't only talking about her. I got played by the industry too. And I was just looking at the internet the other day, and I saw that Nike's gonna re-release the Huarache shoe for the third time. We wore that shoe in 1992, right? Imagine me starting a school 11 years ago, reaching out to that company, asking them to support our sports teams, and getting told no. You see what I mean? And so when I see a couple of people riding with Kanye, but when he shows Adidas, like reselling his shoe or undermarking his shoe, I'm not sure exactly what happened, and then a couple of public figures come and ride with him, I'm thinking, dog, what was y'all since 1992? You see what I mean? And it's refreshing that we can communicate, that we can build together. And what you just said reminded me of something. in that early 90s, I remember going to the hip hop shop and rocking Maurice Malone. I remember Carl Kanai, that's my brother. I remember repping his stuff and doing what I can to support. I remember getting to the league and this woman made sure I had boxes of gear to wear. Made sure. I've always been conscious of that. Like, this is fear of God I'm wearing. I do it on TV. And a lot of times, that's an opportunity for us as black people, inner city young people, to support our own. I know I'm on the stage. So I'm like, yo, Rich Fresh, I need you to give me a suit. Because instead of me wearing a Dolce & Gabbana suit, they ain't gonna show me no love. They don't care. Literally. Like, I don't know them. Like, I actually know him. He's a living, breathing human being. And he's black. So I'm gonna ride for my people. And for so long, I remember like being one of the people that was ostracized by mainstream America because I was too black and too outspoken. And so it's crazy for me. I saw it happen to Muhammad Ali. I saw it happen to like a lot of outspoken black people who put on for their culture and put on for their community. And so coming full circle and having a corporate job and having the opportunities that I have, it now makes me double and triple down. Like, I'm more ferocious about it now. It's more personal now. And so the first thing I thought about when I knew that this was happening today, I was like, first I'm gonna be there. And I'm glad that it's happening. But you know what really needs to happen? Like, we need to ride together and build together and not just be talk. Because you talked about like the people in the industry that look like you, that didn't necessarily support you. There's a show I want to do. I guess I'm going to say it in public. I've been sitting on an idea for 10 years. And it's a show called Not in Front of Company.
I love that.
Not in front of company. Like the stuff we really need to talk about, yep. But it's like only amongst us. You know what I mean? Like it's like one of those things like when your parents tell you, whatever happened in this house, stay in this house, right? Like, I hope this becomes that. Right. Because while we want to build with one another and we should build with one another, we are the first to stick a gun in each other's face too. We are the first to hate. We are the first to rob. We are the first to diss. We are the first to comment and say something negative about each other. And so I hope this platform, this opportunity about fashion, about lifestyle, becomes an opportunity for us as people, for us as a community, to actually not have it just be talk. I'm tired of talking.
And what I could say, I'm seeing now, what I can say I'm seeing now is, and we talked about this in the back too, I think with the last 3 or 4 years, we started to see that we all had a window, right? Everything that happened with George Floyd, it was an awakening for the world to understand our power and what it is that we add to the world. And I think all of us now understand the value that we bring when we walk in a room. But how do we own that power? Right? I would love to hear from both of y'all to talk about how can we take some of that power back, because what I'm seeing is it's a reckoning, right? It's real rap. I think each of you understand, y'all here on a Saturday, right? And I think more people now understand the importance of their individual value and their individual individual contribution, just not at work, but to our culture, right? But please talk to me about, and if any of y'all feel like to jump in too and got questions, because I said it was gonna be interactive when we've been talking at y'all a bit. Is that a hand? Go ahead. And here, yeah, that's you. Yeah, jump, stand up.
Yes, so hi, my name is Imani. I'm from Chicago. And so I know you're mentioning IP and ownership of that. And I feel like as a creative, the hardest part for me is maintaining ownership of my ideas because they're not tangible. So how do you as a creative like make sure when you're reading these contracts, like they have you sign away your intellectual property and they can use it in whatever ways they want to for however long they can? So how do you as a creative protect your intellectual property?
Is that, oh, I'll answer even though it may not have been directed at me. The first thing is, when you're new to the game, you're new to the game, right? So let me level set the conversation, right? It's about Black excellence, right? In the United States, there's 12% of us, right? So the other 88% ain't us. So know when you come in, you're gonna have some throwaways, right? Like you gotta be, we talked about this in the back. James Whitner works for free today, right? If you see me, I'm probably giving you my number, right? If you got an idea, like, yo, shoot, whatever it is, whatever I got to do to help it, I'll help it. Like, you know, you gotta work for free. So before you get to a point where you can protect something on a contract, you gotta make sure that there's real value, right? Because you can't fight for all the things, right? Like April said it, like from her journey, I learned, right? She talked about what she contributes. She's a legend, right? And the thing that we have to understand is like, yo, check, protect your IP. Don't let nobody have anything forever. I think there was a brother here earlier. I forgot his name. He was up here with J Man Scoop. IP, like, find him, get his card, and learn a bit. He's sitting right behind you. Find him, get his card, and build with him.
I was just gonna follow up. I mean, if I'm honest, like the creative industry, period, whether it's apparel, footwear, it's very hard, at least in apparel, to protect everything. But IPs are important in trademarks and your mainstays. There's your icons, your logos, there's domestic, there's international, there's your most important assets. You want to keep them in a secure, allocated folder. And that, to me, I would tell you to get with a good IP lawyer and someone that understands fashion laws to really have that conversation because there's different levels. And like he said, when you come in the game, you need to, I say, you got to pay your dues and know that humility and confidence can live in the same house. All right? And so you can know that I'm getting to where I need to get, but I'm going to do what I need to do and get in where I fit in right now and put my weight up because I already know what I'm made of. So once I get there, it's a different conversation. But you got to do some things to have a different conversation.
100. Thank you for your question, too. I got two over there.
I'll just pass it off to you. My question, how do you think the essence of hustle and grit has changed in the fashion world for Black and brown entrepreneurs? That's for everybody.
I don't think it has. I think we've been hustling since day one. I think the results of the hustle has changed, right? Scoop Jackson exists. I got the scoop because J May hit me out of the clear blue like, yo, bro, there's somebody you should meet. Good people, built with him. J May, he talked earlier today. Me and J May might have talked for 5 minutes. Got introduced to him from Chris Wright. J May would call me every Friday, text me every Friday and say, I don't know what's going on in your mind, but I'm praying for you. And you got the ability and the power to get through all of it. That's the type of shit that, like hustle and grit, I think that's always been us. I think now we own the results different, right? To the young lady's point, I think to the young lady's point, now we got people in a room that can make sure we're not getting played, right? Now we understand that the opportunity is ours and we can ring fence it and scale it, right? And so I think April hustled harder than me. She's a Black woman in the industry, so she had to hustle harder than me. I can't take nothing away from her hustle. I just think the world now understands a little, they can't play us. Or they can't play us as visibly as they would have in the past.
Can I piggyback something off of that? And I'm guilty of this, and that's why I'm flagging it, because it's something that I've worked to improve at, and once I work to improve at it, I hope to now make it a challenge to everyone else. The black dollar is stronger now. We making more bread. I remember
just recently, like thinking about sports and thinking about rap. And I remember a time where the rappers wasn't living in the suburbs. They weren't making the bread that they're making now, right? There were a couple of people who owned their own labels. Rockefeller had a label, Bad Boy had a label, No Limit had a label, Jay Prince had a label. And so, but other than that, you always heard rappers talking about either being in 360-degree deals or being undervalued or underpaid, and then having to do shows to actually make their money. And so now those artists, like us, have gotten more intelligent to now pick and choose. Do I need a label, or am I gonna stay independent? But either way, it's more money in the game. So to answer your question or comment about hustle, how are we spending that dollar? Are we spending it with each other? Because now that that dollar is stronger, we should definitely be doing it. And we ain't doing it. We ain't doing it. Like, I remember in Detroit, we didn't root for Michael Jordan because I'm a Bad Boys fan. And so I remember when the Jordans came out, and I'm like, hold on. They released 50 pairs of shoes. There's 5,000 people in the line. That don't add up. People literally shooting and killing each other for the shoes, and they know it. That's a setup. That's literally designed. It's almost like if you, an artist that can have a venue of 10,000 fans, but you purposely do a show for 2,500 fans. That's what they were doing to us. That's what they're continuing to do to us. So what my challenge for me is, and I would say about the hustle, is if these artists, these creatives, these entrepreneurs, these people who are in fashion or whatever we're selling, my challenge is, what are we doing with the black dollar? We need to be more responsible with it.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm going to piggyback and push you too on this one. As we talk about, because what you just mentioned is demand planning, right? Tactical term, we all heard it. Everybody in here working. Understanding that I'm forming it and thinking at the same time. Knowing that none of us own brands. Well, no, I take that back. None of us own the big brands, right? Dior. Why? Why don't we, and this is a question to the crowd, why don't we support one another with the level of excitement that we're willing to support other brands? And that's a question to y'all, please. Hand.
Okay, so this actually perfectly fits into my question. My name is Jerlisa Nicole. I do a lot of stuff with sneakers, honestly. I don't feel like going down the list. But most importantly, I look at myself as a voice of the community, of sneakers, of black people in sneakers. I creative direct, I style, and I'm a buyer as well for Complex and a couple of other productions and companies. And about a year ago, more than a year ago, James, you dropped the Raised by Women 3. The Jordan 3 is my favorite shoe, hands down. The story is amazing. I'm a mother of 2 black boys. They're teenagers. I get it. I went to the AMM store in Atlanta, and it was disheartening to see as a black woman, there was nothing for me to buy. There was maybe 2 T-shirts, and I'm not exaggerating, and they weren't attractive T-shirts. And I asked the staff, like, hey, is there a women's section? And they're like, yeah, it's in the corner. I said, them 2 T-shirts? And they was like, yeah, it's in the corner. And I said, okay, what else is there for me as a woman? Oh, that's all we got right now. We about to send the Ivy Park back. Okay, cool. I understand that things happen in business. So maybe it was just a bad day. I'm out of Dallas. I'll go to the Houston stores. It's generally the same thing. As a woman, unless I'm about to buy a big men's T-shirt, baggy cargo pants, there's no space for me to spend my black dollar outside of these hyped releases that I gotta go through Nike and Jordan to get. I gotta fight to pay a black man with my black dollar. And I love your brand. I love what you're making. I love what you're doing, but it hurts sometimes to sit back and be like, dang, that's it? I could get the Nike shoe? What else? There's no Walker wear in there? There's no, there's so much that can be done. So when Jalen says stuff like, we not putting a black dollar in the black, there's nowhere for me, there are places to put it, but as far as the people on the panel, there's nowhere for me to put it in your store on a day-to-day basis, you know?
Do you remember my question earlier? Was anybody here when a question earlier when the girls was, when the young ladies was talking on stage?
I was in the other room for it, but you asked where the black women were, right?
The question I asked was, I'm guilty of serving men. 85 to 90% of our business is based on we're moving into women, right? And you'll start to see women's spaces come online. But yo, look at every woman in the room, look at each other. That's on y'all. Just as quick as you say, I'm gonna challenge you back. Women have to stand up. Yo, okay, you can catch me as soon as we walk off, and I'll give you my number. You can call me Monday, and I'll make the space. We need black women in. I can do the best that I can do, right? But that's what I need y'all to do, what y'all gonna do, and I can leverage the resources I got to help you. Is to Jalen's point, and I started to go there, but I wasn't gonna go there, but you about to make it. If you don't know it, I'm gonna help you with it. If there's a million to sell a million, no, that ain't the name of the game. You got to stay in. This is a different conversation. I think through all of our launches, there's a way for. And I pride myself on it. So if they had a conversations about women, we could have a. In our current men's spaces, you're going to see very small selection for women.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh.
Can
I've and I supported you, and I thank you. Nice spot, you know what I mean? But your outfit is fantastic. It's beautiful. And Jalen Rose, 5, the Air Max, the black socks, the baggy shorts.
That's all Detroit everything.
Okay, so Ms. Walker, back to you. The whole fashion industry. Nav, my pops did Ralph Lauren back in the 80s. Jordan gets credited for the baggy shorts, and that's what everyone. You used to have the hockey jerseys, XX, extra large. Respect their style with tight jeans but even jazz singers used to have baggy suits. You know what I'm saying? If you have a style, why change your style? You know what I'm saying? Who dictates what's on the market and what's not on the market?
That's a good question. I think style is innate, and I think that who dictates what's on the market, I don't think that part has really changed in terms of, if you go to every hood, I'm gonna be honest, there's a hood star. That hood star is who these celebrities look to, because they the game changers. Like in New York, it's Vinnie Styles, it's Bed-Stuy Fly. Certain shops you go to, your shop, you know, you go places and you shop. But they know where to look, and they know who's wearing what, and they know those are the real stars, and those are the people that set the trends. Now that we have Instagram,
there's a lot of creative theft and a lot of drive-bys going on from these big corporations to see who's out here popping. Right now, I'm in a lawsuit with Off-White for my intellectual property, right? And that's been going on now for over a year and a half. But while it's stressful and while it's taxing, it's more important for young people to see that I'm taking a stand and I'm not having that shit, you know?
I got a 2-word answer to it. We do. Like, we own what we do. That's right. And the more we realize it, to Jalen's earlier point, like, we own all this shit. This is our table, right? These is our insights. We inspire, we influence. And to his earlier point, we purchase everything that matters. So every time you choose wisely.
Can I just say that if we spent 10 cents of every dollar, we could employ every man and child in this room all the day. We could change our communities. We would be so rich from the inside and the out. 10 cents of every dollar. So let's be intentional.
And we were talking earlier about being underrepresented in the fashion space. I think one of the things I want to add to your question as an answer is we're severely underrepresented in the multimedia space as well. As somebody that works in the media, what ends up happening is they dictate to us what is perceived to be cool. And we already cool and fly on our own. We don't even need to consume what the masses think are cool because they're actually looking to us to follow our trend. And so what ends up happening is we think something is popular. So then when it becomes popular and we get that dollar, we go buy the popular thing versus supporting our own, and we know it's already fly. That to me, as a multimedia personality, I think we have to be careful. And you brought up Instagram, is that allowing other people, other voices to dictate to us in the community what is cool, what is fly, what is fresh, what is current. Like, we already know. We live it. We embody it. We get copied all of the time. All the time. Literally, our fashion, our jewelry, our hair, our body parts. like for real. I'm just being honest.
We allow people to, we make it, we allow others to take it, regurgitate it, and sell our magic back to us with a bigger price tag. That has to change.
Say that again, the last part.
That hurts, and it's true.
And listen, and then, hold on.
That's a truth bomb.
I'm going to add it. And then
that's a truth bomb right there. That hurts.
We said we got a rule in the back. Remember what's the rule?
Right. Okay, I'm just going to say, we make it, they take it, and this is not me. This is what my father and me were talking about, and this is him telling me. We make it, they take it, regurgitate it, and sell our magic back to us with a higher price tag, and we stand in line and kill each other over it.
Young lady, can we get a mic for her? It's coming. And start with your name, too.
Yes, hi, my name is Paris Alston. I'm a multimedia journalist based in Boston, so I credit my brother Wesley here, who is way closer to the sneaker world than I am for my being here. But I'm curious because I have so appreciated hearing about dismantling these systems that we have to operate within. And I'm curious, is there a point at which we begin to move away from capitalism as a model for what we are all trying to do? And if so, what does that look like?
Oh, I could jump into that. You just hit my sweet spot. It's about creating an ecosystem, and really it's more social capitalism is the way I see it, right? Because capitalism on its face isn't bad if done well, right? It's the balance of socialism and capitalism and how we pay back in, right? And it's exactly, it's just what we, damn, I don't want to keep picking on us, but it's us. Can y'all turn the cameras off? Fuck. Yo. What happens is, if we invested back in ourselves, then we don't have the problem. Like, what we do is we work with brands like Jordan Brand, right? We work with brands like Nike. And I think there's an understanding that they understand that we about us, that makes sense. And I'm comfortable saying, right? We about us. And for me, it's about investing in us, and I'll go to the rule. You ain't gonna never hear me say something bad about any of us in a room full of white people. Never. Never.
Church.
There's never an opportunity I'm gonna take off a black man or a black woman's plate. Never. Ever. When we get comfortable understanding that, like, yo, April, that thing you worked on, I'm gonna call April and tell her the thing. I'm gonna call April and offer my help and my support. No, free of charge, because we need her to stand up. Jay, we need him to stand up, whatever he got going on. It's less about the idea of capitalism. It's more about really looking and picking each other up. Like, it's enough space for all of us to sit in this room. Yo, as soon as I came into town, I said, yo, we're Ro, we're Rick. We're everybody from here. I'm coming to check in with we're everybody I know that I lived another life with. Whatever with, however I walk with them. I'm checking in to see all of them. Like, yo, we gotta get really, really comfortable supporting each other. Strangers, be warm to each other, right? This idea of just tearing each other down for your own personal gain because you think you can beat them. Yo, April, is it possible you can help me with that? You know what I'm saying? I'm working on this thing. That's easy. It's easier to do that. Like, yo, James, is it possible for you to create space? Yo, Jalen, I got this t-shirt I'm working on, bro. I would love for you to, like, yo, this idea that we got to be cooler to each other. Like, listen, motherfucker, I've been cool. I was born cool. We create cool. Fuck, I got to go walk in a room and look like I'm cool to them? Fuck out of here. What you think this is? Mm-hmm. This is our shit.
Yo. Hey, this Rick again.
Yeah, quick question. It's a kind of like a wellness question. As you know, we got all this energy in the room, and we're really excited, and we really want to go far with all our ideals and designs and own it. But as you know, James, there's a dark side to our culture, right? And you know, obviously, you know, I never experienced mass incarceration, but a lot of my family members have. So a lot of times we become real successful mainstream, we come back to a dark side. And it seems like it's not going to end. So what's the wellness factor, say 10 years out, as we build this? How do we pull those brothers up that maybe don't see what we see right now? How are you dealing with that?
I think the thing that, and I'll go to Jalen, and because it was sad, you know, I'd done my homework. Real street dude, right? He on real Detroit time. If you know me, I'm on real Pittsburgh time. My legs hurt right. Like, yo, my brother's doing 20 years. My dad died over crack overdose. When I go home, still with a hammer and a tool. Ain't nothing changed about that. Mm-hmm. My reality's my reality. It's never gonna change. I'm playing for something different. This ain't about me. If you ever think this is about me, you won't understand what's happening in front of you. Like, yo, where I'm coming from is dark. I got more friends that's doing life than I probably got friends that's walking around out here. Like, yo, this is not a fucking game. We're dying. Youngins is pulling pistols and going to go get work because they think it's their best opportunity. Like, yo, this is a beautiful thing to see. People who want to be gainfully employed or have entrepreneurial opportunities. the reality of where our culture is a lot different than the folks that sit in this room. And I think there's an understanding of that for most of us, right? So on the dark side of this, everything that I do is about that. Everything for me is about the conversation I talked earlier today about walking to go do that time. That time ain't moved me. You want to know why? Because I knew I was coming home. My brother got 20 years. He still ain't home. Understand what I'm saying? So for me, it's about us helping that. Like there's people still first generation in the projects right now. Ignorance only understands ignorance. And void of education, there's never going to be change. You know what I am where I'm from? I'm hope. I'm the face of hope where I'm from.
It's always going to be light and dark, I think, right, in my lifetime, at least. And so I have to work in the light and trust that being the light offers the hope. Same thing, I'm from Brooklyn when Brooklyn wasn't gentrified Brooklyn, and we have a lot of the same stories. So I know what that looks like, but that's why I do the work. And that's why I go to the worst school systems that exist, and I disrupt and teach a class called BYOB, Be Your Own Brand and Build Your Own Brand. And I see you, because I grew up down the block on Madison Street between Nostrand and Marcy in a rock. If any of you know about that, that's real, you know? And I'm talking to them kids, and I'm telling them, I don't care what your teachers say, I don't care what your mama say, I don't care what your daddy say. It's what you believe here. That's going to be the game changer. Your thoughts create your words create your world. So swing with aim and don't take no for an answer. Once you believe it, everything is possible. But you got to believe it. And so most of our young people, they just need to know it's possible. And by showing up, you showing them that it's possible. So that's the light.
This is Rick. I had to answer y'all original question about how black people support more higher end brands, and then when they don't want to come spend a black dollar, I'm a victim of that because I got my own brand, and when people try to come support me, they always want a discount or they always want to tell me I'm overcharging, but they'd be talking to me with $1,200 shoes on, and they'd be like, oh, I can't pay $250 for your hoodie because, oh, I know you, or I need a discount, or let me get it on the hookup, bro. Let me do this. I got this. Like, no, bro, you don't go in Saks Fifth, you don't go in Gucci, you don't ask them for a discount, you don't ask them for none of that. You just go pay your $1,200 and walk out of there happy. So I feel like us as black people, we don't even show, like, we don't show the other smaller brands and black minorities that they stuff matter just as much, or we don't got as much faith in them, or we don't feel like they product is good enough like a higher end brand. And I can tell you like this, my shit be better than the higher end brand. I spend top dollar to get stuff made. So it's just like, I feel like people don't even like show that like interest, or they feel like, you know what I'm saying, like you ain't worthy, you feel me? And I be feeling like black people need to start showing each other we worthy enough, you feel me? That's so to answer y'all original question.
Stand up. This is brand. Rich Out Young, that's the shirt, the pants. Y'all said y'all wanted to support the Black Dollar. You know. What's
the brand called?
My brand is called Rich Young.
Where you from?
I'm from the west side of Detroit, 7 Mile.
Yo, stay here. I'll make sure I get you. Here, I was about to tell you my cell phone number.
I got you.
Yo, I'll find you. Come find me.
What's your website?
Our website is www.richyoung.com.
It better be fire too.
So, and it's in me, not on me.
I just want to say this because I felt your pain. I felt everything you said. And I would suggest to Dr. Edwards, Dr. Dwayne, I say this all the time because I'm on a thread with nothing but black excellence, a lot of black women entrepreneurs, and we always have this discussion. Some because I'm generalizing, but some black consumers are the worst and we're the hardest on our own people in terms of black brands, black businesses, and we expect way more. I'm not meeting you on the corner to go give you a delivery. I'm not gonna do that. I'm not answering your DMs. Don't slide up in my DMs. Like, that's not how we do business. You're not doing that to Ralph Lauren. You're not hitting me with some hate mail like, and this better be quality. You know, I just think that there's so much on both sides that we can learn from, because most black businesses are paying more for their inventory, for their labor, and they're not getting the same opportunities. The lack of resources are still real. There are more opportunities, but it's not the same. So we have to educate the consumers on our side, and as well, you've got to be willing to be more patient to bring our community. Now, that doesn't mean compromise black excellence. You should want the best, and you should want the best experience, and you should want the best quality, but you've got to be willing to give a little bit more in order for us all to grow as a community and to flourish, because if we don't, there's no other way.
Something I'll add on to that, and I see you in a minute, I'll see you on the side. Don't be patient. I think April just said that. Be patient with us, right? There's a lot of brands that have been around for a long time, and people were patient with their T-shirts. There's brands that people didn't care about. Brands were patient with them brands. They didn't rush them. They kept coming back to them over and over and over again. As an audience, be patient with us. Yo, allow us to make mistakes. We make mistakes. Don't tear us down. In the comment section, yo, stand up for each other, yo. Real rap. Like, yo, if we don't stand up for ourselves, we ain't gonna have opportunities. Remember, it ain't us versus us. This is all ours. Comment in the center.
Okay, I want to piggyback off of his question, if that's okay, because I want to give you some encouragement. That ain't just in fashion. That's in any industry. Right now, I could get a job at Target. People in my phone that are my friends and family, yo, what's the discount? It ain't just in fashion. And so how about this? And this is something I should only be saying in front of a company, right? I started a school 12 years ago. Tuition free, open enrollment, public charter, on the northwest side of Detroit. My school is 98% black, but my donors are 95% white. And by the way, there are so many black entertainers, entrepreneurs, millionaires, billionaires that know I got a school, that I rub elbows with, that I shake hands with, that I see on social media talking about they stand up for the culture. How you think that make me feel? But I stay encouraged. And 12 years in, I stopped cursing 20 years ago, but every now and then I do it for effect. Right? I do it for effect, almost like a stand-up show, almost like being a rapper. I'm like, fuck them. Dead serious. Because if I don't do what I need to do in order to what I call exercise the Robin Hood theory, because that's what it is. Take this math. I'm going to give it to you again. My school is 98% black. My donors are 95% white. My people ain't standing up for me. But stay encouraged, brother. And like you said, it takes time. You continue to do your thing. You continue to do it because you're passionate about it. You love it because you care about it. And build it will come. Build it, brother, will come.
All right. My name is Hodge Fleming. I'm the founder of Modern Athlete, and this question is for J. Rose. Perfect timing. I've had a chance to speak to some of your students. We talked about returning the black dollar. So in this conversation with family, what can we do today to give back to the Jalen Rose Leadership Academy? Not tomorrow, not down the road. What can we do so we can support your school?
Thank you for the question. I appreciate that. Multiple things. As I mentioned, when you're open enrollment, tuition free in your public charter, you get zero state funding for our facility. I remember launching the school and being in Lansing. I looked around the room, there's 150 people in the room, I'm the only black person. And I saw all of these people talking about legislation of what should happen in public schools. I'm like, hold on, I'm like, wait a minute. I'm the only person in here that lived in Detroit, went to a public school, that started a school in Detroit, but all of these people are overseeing the legislation about what happens to our young people. That was off. But you know what else was off? That I was the only person in there. I was the only person in there. And so how to help? Time, energy, awareness, relationships, mentor, tutor, donor, come to a sporting event, buy a hoodie on the website, anything.
What's the website?
JRLADetroit.com is the actual website, JRLADetroit.com. And I must shout out my brother, Ty Mopkins, industry tastemaker. Where Ty? Is he in here? He left? So Ty and I went to high school together. We caught the bus together in high school. And I used to tell him, I'm gonna make it to the league. And he used to tell me he gonna be one of the greatest fashion designers of all time, right? And so have a dream, build on a dream, and to support the young people that we have at our school is doing the things that I just said. You see them out in the street, you know, make sure they good. That's truly how you can support what we're doing. Everybody can support what we're doing. But right now, just think about this. And this is me talking to the gentleman about his clothing line. I've had a school 12 years, and we never played a home basketball game. I had a school 12 years, and we never played a home basketball game. I could get uniforms. I need $12 million for a gym. That's what I need. And here's what people do when they come to Detroit. Parachute in, zoom, downtown, Eastern Market, what's popping, what's happening. But that ain't the charity to make it to the hood. And so to help what we're doing, it's the time, it's the energy, it's the support, and it's the awareness. Thank you.
I wanted to circle back kind of to what he said in the question that you presented to everybody in the audience as to, you know, why don't we own those bigger brands? And I think personally, it comes down to the fact that as black people or just even as minorities, as people who don't, you know, belong in that upper echelon space, we don't believe in anything that doesn't have like that history or that repertoire kind of behind it. So I wanted to present the question back to you. What do you guys think that individuals can do to kind of build that community support, make people believe in an individual or believe in their mission, believe in their brand? What needs to be done to make that happen?
We're doing it. This is it. This is what it looks like. Like the work is the work. Like every day you take a step. Every day there's an action. How April walked up to me before I could even look up. Her hand was already on my shoulder and said, "It's a pleasure meeting you." That reaction, she already set the tone for our relationship. Scoop said it earlier. Jay said it earlier. Pick up the phone. Not the fake bullshit. Yeah, I'm going to give you my number. I think I gave my number out 3 times. They're going to be shocked when they text me. If I don't answer, I'm going to text them back. Like, yo, answer the phone. Follow up. This is what it takes. It takes believing in us. It takes standing up for us. It takes making space for us. It takes not being so quick to just shoot us down and talk shit because you didn't get the response you want. I text Jalen, he didn't hit me back for 3 days. The man got a schedule. He may not hit me back at all, but just because he don't assume the worst. right? Like, yo, give us all space and grace. And built with positivity and love and real positive energy, not just because that's some shit to post on Instagram, but because we truly gotta make space for each other to be better. Like real rap, I'm gonna say it again, you ain't gonna never hear me hate on another person that look like us. Never, ever, never. You can't. There ain't enough of us. Does that make sense? And I'm gonna jump out there and say, collaboration means also too, because we're built and we're learning. If I start something, yo, my first business was Flavor Factory, right? White people was like, what's that? Right? I was like, it's dope as fuck. You know what I'm saying? And I've been on a journey from that point on, learning, right? If you send me your stuff, and I don't like it, you know what I'm gonna give you? Advice. I can't even see that far, bro. These eyes is fucked up. Lights in my eye too. I'm gonna give you advice, right? Like, yo, feedback, positive, constructive feedback. Be willing to take it and build each other up in a positive way, yo. And you ain't gotta shit on somebody in the comments. Hit them with the DM with the advice. You know what I'm saying? Like, be meaningfully try to pick each other up. I ain't gonna go long-winded because we want to get some more questions. And Jay, you about to say something?
Absolutely, but two things. One, this is a lesson that you learn as an athlete, and you learn it a long time. You learn it really young. Sometimes your critics are right. Sometimes your critics are right. And what happens is, to your point, if I'm not buying something that you make, or I'm not supporting something, that doesn't mean I don't like you. Or it may not mean that I don't support my people, to your point, but am I in a position, is everybody in here in position? See, you've earned the autonomy, she's earned the autonomy to give that person advice. What about the person who probably isn't supported because they don't like it? You know what I mean? They don't give to give you advice. So what I'll say is something that's important to me that I've adopted that you can consider doing. You talked about it. Number one, be patient. But number two, and this costs nothing, just be kind. Like, so many times, like, everybody talk about what they want to be in life. But when you kind to people and you move with integrity, I'm just telling you, just the atmosphere and the energy of what you're trying to do seems that karma finds a way to put you in position to chase your goals. And I must stress this. It ain't gonna happen overnight. How long you been in this game?
Forever.
Okay, my point exactly. Like people see me on TV now and be like, oh, okay, that's my guy. Like, I've been doing this for 20 years. Like, I ain't no rookie. You see what I mean? So stay encouraged, stay patient, but you gotta be ready for the marathon. This ain't a sprint. Like, you ain't gonna put something out today, it's gonna clear the shelves tomorrow, and before you know it, it's like, I'm making $1 billion. No, you gotta stay low and keep firing.
Thank you. Can I step in right here? Thank you. So my name is Philip Cusick, and I'm from Chicago. And I would like for the gentleman who's traveled with me to stand up. These are the men who work with those young people that are often victims of the darkness you were talking about, But Howard Thurman said this: a single light dispels darkness, and these brothers act as that light. And what they do,
I met them earlier.
I should say what we do, and I don't mind. I've been doing this 45 years, and I still look good, even if I'm almost bald. So, but what I want to say is this. We do what's called social-emotional learning. We're the experts in that field that move brothers from a sense of hopelessness to realize that that potential they were born with still is in them and can be realized into success. But we need spaces like this so they can have the access to be able to arise and ascend to a different kind of life. And so I just want to say thank you to the good doctor. I want to say thank you to all of you who have been on this stage, to those sisters, those sheroes, those ladies. I'm telling you, I was moved to tears, and right now I have more hope than I had when I got on a bus to come here to Detroit. There's no difference in the space of Chicago, Detroit, New York, Atlanta, LA. Wherever you go, the pain of black folk is the same pain, and we got to honor that pain to make some difference. And I'm sorry, I'm also a Baptist preacher, so y'all got to live with it. God bless.
You. Please give them love. Hey, please give them love. And here's a media trick, brother. Here's a media trick, and I'm glad we're in a safe space. Since we don't control or really own mass media, what ends up happening is we get taught by society that it's only like 10 successful black people. And so what ends up happening is like, y'all got Denzel, y'all got Jay-Z, it's like 10 of y'all. Everybody else like, who is you? Like, you ain't did nothing. Thank you, brother. I appreciate you. But the symptom of what you just did is you just acknowledged some heroes in the community. They're taking their time, their energy, and their passion to influence others. So it's great that we get a chance to celebrate them. And I'll say this again, don't be discouraged, brothers, when society as a whole doesn't celebrate you the way you should, because that same multimedia trains all of us, and black people, we feed into it that it's like only 10 successful black people. And we dismiss, and what have you done? Like we do that quick. You know what I'm saying? And so be conscious of that. So thank you, brother.
What I'll say to you, 6'2", I appreciate the work y'all doing, man, and it doesn't go in vain. And I know you feel like the fight's endless, and something that I've realized in the last. So keep in mind, we fight, but this pain becomes fuel. It's the only thing that I've learned to do with it. So just keep fighting, and I appreciate y'all.
Hey, can you hear me? I have a question for Ms. Walker. My name is Willie Carmichael from Maryland. During the early stages of your journey and career, have you ever feel like your path was getting kind of wavery and you started to lose faith? And how did you overcome that? And what ways do you feel like you leaned on your community to persevere more?
The last part you said was in what ways?
What ways did you feel like you leaned on your community for streetwear, fashion, hip hop to continue persevering?
So, if I'm honest, my life has been a miracle, and it's been God. You know, I can't tell you that I was that dope and that smart, and I had everything scheduled to sit on this couch right now. It's through the grace of God. But the one thing I had was a vision. And it's a great question you asked, because I was thinking of how I can impart this upon the audience, but you asked it. So this day and age of social media is allowing everyone to be a brand. But the thing is, I knew I was a brand in 1987. That much I was clear on, especially as a Mexican woman. The way I represented myself, the way I had to move in certain circles, the conversations we had versus maybe when I was in a boardroom with somebody else that didn't look like me, yeah, it was very real. And that's very exhausting sometimes, right? And then you're working, I'm gonna tell you what you're doing right now. You have a limited budget, I'm sure, an operating system, right? You're constantly pulling rabbits out your hat. And it's a thankless job. If you're an entrepreneur, more than likely you're doing this for service and community. Yes, you wanna definitely reap some benefits and be able to live a good life, but you're here for your community, to do something to serve, right? So I won't tell you it's not lonely sometimes, it's the road less traveled. My faith has been bigger than my fear. I've been naive to fear from day one, and that's probably what saved me. At 21, when I started out, y'all know when you're 21, you think you could do everything. And I never thought about what I couldn't do. I thought about what I could. So being naive, I didn't go in those rooms thinking, I'm the Mexican little girl in this room of all these people. I'm like, no, I'm dope as shit. Like, and my product is dope as stuff. You know what I mean? That's really how I felt. And humility and confidence can live in the same room, right? Because I think each one of you are dope. And I think each one of you have seeds that you need to plant. And that's God's work in you. It's a co-authored experience. It's your duty to share that with the world. And don't do that timidly. Do it audaciously. Like, I'm supposed to be in this room. I'm going to edify this room when I walk in it. And if y'all don't like it, too bad, because I'm doing God's work. So, yeah, it gets hard sometimes. It gets hard sometimes. It gets hard. And I'm going to tell you this. I had 3 years of rice and beans when I started. My lights went out. My journey wasn't just like this. It was like this. You know what I mean? But was it worth it? I couldn't have it any other way. I think what I can offer you is you are the brand. Everything you create twice. Once here, and then you pour it out into the world and you share that, right? You realize that. If you've done that, you've done your job. Don't give up. When it gets hard, pause, but don't stop. Because usually when we're stopped, we're like, right there. Right there. If you would have just hung on a little bit longer, you see it. And it's not your time, it's God's time with you. So knowing that, just keep doing it. And sometimes it might be wrong. Sometimes we have the ladder on the wrong wall. So it's good to be able to discern and to know, pause, reflect, do your homework, do the work, but don't stop.
Yo.
So,
I just wanted to make one statement. First of all, I've really been enjoying this panel. Thank you all for the knowledge y'all pouring on us. Listening to the panel discussions today, a lot of things have been bubbling up, and I've been seeing some connectivity around like education and the technical knowledge that we have within this room and how that's opened doors for us and how we've been building together. But one of the things that we've realized in our city is that it's really the youth that have less access or no access at all to the technical knowledge that would empower them, right? And so it's really like you were saying earlier, April, the culture is really what we own. That's our magic. That's our magic. And everybody wants that magic, but we're not teaching each other how to own that magic from the get and how to support it, right? And so with the youth in Columbus, Ohio, for those that don't know, Columbus, Ohio is the third largest fashion city in the country. And a lot of people don't know that. And so we found that out and we said, we got to do something about that because we knew the value of our culture in the fashion industry. And so if we lead that culture and we live in the third largest fashion capital, we should have access to that knowledge. And so we started a nonprofit, and that nonprofit teaches the industry to the youth, taught by Black people in the industry. And so there's probably, examples of that in other industries in every city, around here in the Midwest. But I think when you think about solutions and playing the long game, like you said, I think we need to start taking a lot of the things that we've learned and find ways to systemize that, to take it down to the youth who have no idea what they want to do outside of what they see, which is sports and entertainment or the streets. But this technical knowledge, we need to start bringing it down. James, you were a part of our program this past summer. Thank you for that. And April, I would love to have you be a part of our program too. But I think what I'm hearing, I feel like there is a chance for us to really start to look at solutions starting younger and starting to teach them that what that magic is, and they see it in themselves, but then give them the skills to own that culture, own that magic for
Absolutely.
themselves and pour it into each other.
Can I just say this? On the heels of what you said, you asked about capitalism earlier. Someone asked a question about capitalism. I think the socialism times capitalism, that is my thinking. Like, it's about collective responsibility, cooperative economics. And at this point, to young people, I challenge you, because the one thing I know that I love most about millennials is the accountability factor now with brands, with people. Like, how are you serving the world bigger than yourself with your brand? How are you giving back? What is your brand about? I get those questions. I'm seeing that. And it's fair, because look at our planet. Look at what we're dealing with, the complex issues of this world. So I challenge all of these makers and creators and all of these great minds in this room with access to technology. When you're thinking about creating something today, think about 10 years from now, because if you're not, you're already late. And so I want y'all to think about making it bigger than you and just your IP. Make sure your IP is representing the culture in some way, to be solution driven. It can be a give back in some kind of way, because we have so many pain points. And when you address a pain point, that's longevity.
My man in the yellow hat, stand up. Go for it.
I'm Mike Collins out of Chicago, South Side. This course is mostly for Jalen. I have a prostate cancer foundation, right? So we specialize in, everybody know what prostate cancer is. It's deadly in the Black community across America. It's insane, the numbers are, right? So we've been fighting for years to get the information out to the youth, because it's getting younger and younger. The issue we've been having is brand partnership, right? So Puma would just send shoes in, whatever it is. I get phone calls from NBA agents about recruiting the kids, college coaches as well too, because we have a basketball tournament, to kind of elevate this platform while we're teaching the kids. But I never can get that favor from like in NCAA, or sending letters off and doing everything we possibly can. This is our 7th year next year of doing these events and activations for the youth and Black men and Black and brown men in our community. So it's like we saw Susan Coleman get $36 million for breast cancer, but we can't get $1 for prostate cancer that's killing our community. So it's like, what's your advice on getting like brand partnership involved? Because it get frustrating at time, because we know we need that extra step, even like for media purpose, for elevation for our community.
Thank you for your question. Thank you for your service. What did he say? Oh, thank you for your question. Thank you for your service. Uniquely at our school, I'm the founder of the school, I'm the president of the board, and I'm the chief fundraiser. And I just said to you that I've had the school 12 years, and we never played a home basketball game. And I'm as visible as any person. I'm on ESPN doing shows. I write a column for the New York Post. I do a show on Amazon Amp Radio. And the thing about nurturing those partnerships and nurturing those relationships,
It take time. And the thing I'm saying to you is that I didn't want to go over people's heads. My school is 98% black, but my donors are 95% white. So what does that mean for you? That means that you're breaking down barriers, you're nurturing and fostering relationships, and then ultimately that becomes a donation. The first handful of years we had the school, we didn't have uniforms. You definitely promised to do some uniforms too. All right, love. And there was a period of time that me as a public figure, a former basketball player, I'm on the phone begging brands to give us shoes for the team. In particular, one brand that I helped make billions of dollars for. You see what I'm saying? So what I'll say to you is stay encouraged, stay positive, and stay patient. Because a lot of the pockets that you're trying to get into don't even look like you. Don't even look like you. And for the people that you're trying to get to support you, that look like you challenge them to double down. Don't just talk about, oh, you got love for me, oh, you cool, it's great what you're doing. All right, cool, well, show up then. And so thank you for what you're doing, but again, be patient. It's not gonna happen overnight. They'll tell you, like trying to get a donor, trying to get a sponsor, like these relationships get fostered and nurtured for years. So don't hit James and get mad when he don't give you a check for your idea tomorrow. It takes time to nurture relationships in order to get people to reach in their pocket to give you their hard-earned time, energy, or money. So stay encouraged, my brother. Appreciate your hard work.
And it's always tough to do this, but we got to wrap up this episode of Free Game. We do sessions monthly, Zoom, hit any of our IG feeds. I'm on your social status, APB or Prosper. Before we close, I think April has a few things that she wants to say.
I think we said it all, but just, I'll say what everyone else said. In the IPs, as we discussed, IPs and protection is very important. Again, thinking about lateral cooperation, creating vertical movement. I also want you guys to know that the only thing that can stand in our way is our egos. So we could put them in our back pocket and be less concerned about who owns an idea versus change and what that looks like for our future. We can Voltron and do some serious damage and empower our communities and change and create a healthy ecosystem.
Dwayne, you want to come out for a second? Let's stand up first. Let's stand up. And let's get this man a round of applause. Community don't exist without a space, and spaces don't exist without voices. So I appreciate each and every last one of you spending your time and lending your voice, and bigger than that, being kind and supporting and committing to yourself to just flat out be better, and if not just for yourself, for the rest of us. Thank you.
And I'm a 9 through 16 model, which means after 12th grade, I'm still serving them a secondary education. High school gives up on us in the United States. And people that want to help black kids, they only help small kids. If you noticed. Everybody that parachute in to help black kids, they do third graders, fourth graders. Why? Parental involvement still exists. Those kids ain't on social media, they ain't smoking weed, they ain't been exposed to society. You see what I'm saying? So let's do it. No doubt.
Come on up. All right. Long day. Told y'all it'd be a good day, though.